Hello, I'm Hansi Parchment. You're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.
I think the uniqueness of the Reggae Girls is they embody the national motto of Jamaica, which is out of many one people. So when you look at the entirety of the Jamaica squad, you have dark-skinned girls, mixed-race girls, girls who have black and Asian in them. You also have the homegrown players, so like your Bunny Shaw, your Konya Plummer, your Den Blackwood. So what that means in terms of from a grassroots perspective is girls who are born in Jamaica can look at a Bunny Shaw and hear that authentic accent and say, you know, if Bunny can make it, then so can I. Once you hear that authenticity, that raw Jamaican accent, they should be able to look at a Bunny Shaw who's now our captain to say, if Bunny can do it, especially if you come from the same community, the same parish as her, if she can do it, then so can we.
I want to give a big bless up to the Reggae girls out there. They ain't believing us. John did. Reggae girls, keep winning, keep inspiring. I know you're going to be great out there. World Cup. Sadella Marley, number love. Bless up from DJ Khaled.
And I'm represent for the Reggae girls. You know what I mean? Big up on yourself every time. Especially if you're qualifying for the World Cup back to back. You know what I mean? Sidela, big up yourself. One love every time. You know the thing go. Blessing off a flow like a river. Blessing off a flow like a river. What the Reggae girls do? Left them name night earth like a queen. Me have to big up the top soccer team. You know Massacre represent. Jamaica supporting every time. You know the thing go.
Hello, I'm Hansi Parchment. You're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.
I feel like I'm from UK, you know.
See the moonlights on the town. Whoa, I'm getting ready. Talawa TV is in the town. Whoa, I'm getting ready. Got a corner on the telephone. Yeah, this is the Ocean of the Messenger, and you're watching Talawa TV with the host and best Davis. Take it away.
My Talawers, how are you all? Good afternoon, good evening, possibly good morning, all depends on where you are in the world. Welcome back to another live stream. A bit like last night's live stream, guys. This one was planned quite late. I had no intentions of giving you guys a live stream tonight, only because, as I said in my community tab, I am exhausted. I have, however, managed to lay down for maybe an hour, if that. And somehow I've managed to find myself with a little burst of energy. So I thought, why not share it with you guys and give you guys a live stream? I'm going to keep this one short. So possibly no more than 30 minutes. Won't be taking up too much of your time. Before I forget my manners, thank you to those of you who are tuning in. Thank you to those of you who have also already hit the like button. If you are new to the channel, do go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you are out and about, I do hope that you make it home safe and unharmed. A bit like last night's stream, guys, I'm going to go ahead and touch on the Reggae Boys. Some information there to share with you guys in relation to the senior men's football team. And I'm also going to be touching on the Reggae Girls, going to be looking at a few of the Reggae Girls there. In mainly, I should say, Miss Khadija Bunny Shaw. Going to be talking about Khadija Bunny Shaw, Manchester City, and the Champions League. I'll allow you guys to decide whether they have anything in common with our Jamaica Football Federation, the JFF. So I think what I probably should do is start off with the Reggae Boys. I'll go ahead and dive right into it. If you've been following my Instagram, this one should not come as news to you, but in case you haven't been following me on Instagram, I'll go ahead and keep you up to date. Some welcoming news. They should be able to see this one on the screen in front of you. Give the flowers to Mr. Kasey Palmer and also Mr. Michail Antonio. The graphic does read for itself. In case you can't read it, I'll go ahead and read it for you. You should see two of our Reggae Boys there. That is Michail Antonio and also Kasey Palmer. And the reason why they're in front of you on your screen is because, as I said over on my Instagram, Kasey Palmer and Michail Antonio have been named in the Concacaf Nations League, League A, best starting 11 for the group stage of the September window. These are two of the players that myself and some of you guys in the comment section gave a abundance of flowers to over the two games there where the Nations League is concerned, Cuba and Honduras in mind. As I said, I'll echo what I said on a few of my live stream that Kasey Palmer, I think, based on what I've seen of him over the last two games, I think he's definitely forced his way higher up the pecking order in terms of player selection. Before, in fairness to him, he's probably been doing that under the previous gaffer as well, Mr. Jaime Halgrimson. But I think taking in consideration where we're at with our midfield situation, I still do think that our midfield needs some work. It needs a ton of work, to be honest with you, because at times it does feel non-existent. Unfortunately, that's just how I feel. If you guys feel differently, then that's absolutely fine. Football is obviously a game of opinions. But saying that, on the surface of things, in terms of what we've seen from Kasey Palmer, I think it's safe to say that he has tried at least to make himself as visible as possible over those two stretch of games. Try to hold his own, I think, in fairness to him, as did a few of the other reggae boys there. I know we would like to have seen more, particularly in the game against Cuba, where goals are concerned. Obviously, wasn't our day on that occasion. Michail Antonio, a player that's come under a tremendous amount of stick recently, or maybe not recently. It's been some time now. I do think some of the criticism is a little bit or a tad bit unfair at best. But it's a difficult one because obviously he plays as our forward, and forwards get judged on one thing and one thing only. Are you going to put the ball in the back of the net, or are you going to come up short? Thankfully, as I said on some previous live stream, as it relates to Mr. Michail Antonio, in the few games in which we have, so that's taken the Copa America in mind, which took place over the summer, and also the current Nations League campaign, in those respective competitions there where we have either scored a goal or subsequently gone on to winning a match, Michail Antonio has been the guy to deliver on those occasions. I know we didn't win no Copa America games, but he managed to write his name in the history book, being the first Jamaica player to grab a goal on the Copa America stage. And also he got us a deserved winner against Honduras in their backyard. So I'm pretty pleased to see both of them named in the Concacaf Nations League League A best starting 11 again for the group stage September window. I do think it is definitely deserved. Be interesting to hear what you guys think in the comments section, but I think that is as accurate as it could possibly be as it relates to those two players. Long may it continue. Let's go ahead and segue a little bit. You guys know I don't like my comment section being too quiet. So if I can only see one comment, I can understand if you're making your way home and you're driving. Definitely don't try to multitask, both hands on the wheels, please. But if you are just sitting in the comfort of your own home, please do go ahead and drop a comment, or better yet, let me not disturb you because you're probably sitting comfortably. Instead, what I'll do, I'll just segue and go and talk about the rest of the show. I guess what I could do is touch on some Carabao Cup action there, because I'm sure some of you want to know about the results elsewhere with the respective competitions that took place tonight, from your Carabao Cup to your Champions League. This one we kind of brushed over this particular match yesterday. If you're a Manchester United fan, that's 7 heaven for you against Barnsley. Barnsley is obviously the club belonging to John Russell. Didn't come on the field of play on last night's occasion. Probably the reason why they took a 7-0 battering, or maybe not. So again, if you support Manchester United, enjoy your victory. Don't let no one tell you that it's only Barnsley. You can only play who is in front of you. So do enjoy your victory. And a couple of the other results there, Coventry, I'm sure you guys, that's a former club of Kasey before he moved on to, I believe he moved on to Hull during the summer transfer window. Another club there for Joel Latiba there. I actually got excited with Coventry. They took the lead over Tottenham I did get excited because it is Tottenham. Why not? It was an opportunity to laugh at them, but unfortunately, it didn't last long. Tottenham actually fought back in deep inside the second half there, with Spence netting inside the 88th minute before Johnson sealing the all-important victory. So they managed to get away on tonight's occasion. I like to say long may it continue, but if it does continue that way, the success that is, if you want to call that success, then that's only to keep Mr. Warren Webster happy. And let's see a couple of other results there. We know that this is the parent club of Dexter Lambakisa. I did give you guys some transfer updates on Mr. Lambakisa. He's currently on loan. If you want to find out about that loan in particular, all you have to do is go back and watch last night's live stream. Brighton were the winners on tonight's occasion, and this is the third round. So from last night to tonight, this is all third round competition there. Brighton beating Wolves by a narrow scoreline there, 3-2 in favor of Brighton. Few other results. I know this does sound repetitive because I did give you guys the information last night, but as it relates to our very own Ethan Pinnock, I watched on from the bench there, sat on the bench as his side delivered a 3-1 win over Leyton Orient. Who else? Reece Nelson, will he, won't he be done in the black, gold, and green? I think that one remains to be seen. Hopefully, yes. His parent club is still Arsenal, so he still belongs to the North London club. Temporarily, as things stand, he's on a loan to Fulham, and he bagged his first goal of the season last night. Made it exciting if you are a Fulham fan and also Reece Nelson or supporters of Reece Nelson. He managed to take this one all the way to the wire with his goal coming inside the 61st minute. Unfortunately, after a tense penalty shootout, Preston, the hosts, were victorious, beating Fulham 16-15. But the result that I pretty much enjoyed last night is, if I can find their team, that is, let's see, Sheffield Wednesday, the home of Deshaun Bernard and also Jamal Lowe. As you can see there, Bernard scored inside the 34th minute, and it is a lone goal, and it's a special goal. That's his maiden goal for Sheffield Wednesday. Long may it continue. His goal helped the Owls to cruise through to the next round of the EFL Cup. So brushing up on the EFL Cup, you guys can look at the results in your own time, but I thought I'll just echo some of what was said in relation to the Reggae Boys from last night's show. Gonna do another little segue. I am segueing a bit tonight before I get to the meat of the matter. I guess we can also look at a few Champions League results. I'm doing this purely because I know I have a few of you that support respective clubs, not just in the Premier League. I know I have a few of you that support some of the Spanish clubs as well. So why not keep you all in the loop if you've been hard at work and perhaps you haven't managed to peep at the results as of yet. The clear ones there in front of you, if you support Manchester City, that's a stalemate against Inter Milan. Not sure what went on there, but that one ended in a stalemate. But click and see any other results that you guys would want to know about. ESG 1-0 over Girona. Celtic 5-1 over Slovan. That's a humongous victory there. Dortmund beating Club Brugge 3-0. Sparta Praha beating RB Salzburg 3-0. And we already went through last night's result. Liverpool, they comeback victory beating Milan 3-1. And I think safe to say the biggest result from last night, definitely the biggest result from last night. And also, probably, not even probably, this right here, 9-2, Bayern Munich beating Dynamo Zagreb 9-2. It's the most goals scored in the Champions League by any club there, the men's Champions League that is, and it does belong to Bayern Munich. And you can see Kane there with a host of goals. I counted this last night. How much was it? 1, 2, three, four. I think I said a hat trick last night, but this is actually 4 goals. 1, 2, 3, 4 goals there from Hurricane. So obviously, match ball belongs to him. I don't know. His teammate is probably happy but sick of him at the same time, jokingly, of course, because he's been managed to pick up more than a handful of match balls since making his transfer from previous club Tottenham Hotspurs to Bayern Munich. And also, a former Premier League boy, another former Premier League boy there, Michael Elise, on his Champions League debut, he netted a brace. Long may it continue for the young man. I feel like there's a dialogue that we should have pertaining to Bayern Munich and their gaffer, Vincent Company, Mr. Vincent Company. I actually was going to make tonight's live stream about Company, but then I changed my mind just because I was too knackered. It does require some extensive research, and I think that's the reason why. No, not I think. Let me be honest. That is the reason why you're not getting your Vincent Company conversation. But I do think we need to have a chat about Mr. Vincent Company at some point. Who knows? Depending on how I'm feeling, it might come in the next couple of days. It might just be a thing that I have to push down my pecking order, as I had to do tonight due to workload and exhaustion. Right. What else do I have to cover with you guys? And I think it is now time to brush aside the men's Champions League and head over to the women's Champions League, because there is a bit there to discuss, a little bit there to dissect. Let's go and bring that up. I hope you guys can see that in the, yes, you can. So, Women's Champions League, you guys have probably been keeping your eyes on this. I know I've got it split down the middle, or at least I like to think I have things split down the middle in the comment section and my subscribers, my community, in terms of you guys supporting your reggae boys and you guys supporting your reggae girls. As you can see here, UEFA Women's Champions League. This is the second round and it is leg 1 of 2. Now, the clubs there that we need to keep an eye on is, let's start with Benfica. This one really excited me. I think it was some days ago. I'm gonna have to go back over to their Instagram page because I don't want to misinform you. So let me go over to Benfica's Instagram page just to check something. I'm pretty sure it was maybe 2 days ago. I saw that our very own Jody Brown was in training. If I can go ahead and it looks like okay, so it's not 2 days ago, it was 4 days ago. She was spotted in training. It looks like it's actually individual training there, guys. If my eyes are seeing correctly. And so that was some good news. We all know that Benfica is the new home there for Jody Brown. And that is her first professional club. So we are expecting big things from the young lady. Pertaining to that post that I'm looking at, you can check it yourself. It is on Benfica's Instagram page. It does say in their own translation, Jody Brown's day 1 at Benfica campus. So I was thinking, okay, we're getting there. Soon we're going to be seeing her on the field of play. Let's actually go down and see if we can look at the lineups. I was really excited when I saw her doing what looks to be some loan work. Seems like she was doing some one-to-one gym session there. I can't see none of her teammates around, so it's probably Benfica trying to like get her up to speed. I think, in fairness to Jody Brown, she has been completely snowed under in relation to her workload, both with her former university. Big up FSU, Florida State University. They've definitely helped to shape her into the player that she is, and we are extremely grateful for that. But even saying so, most certainly, I'm sure you guys would agree with me or agree to an extent. We've seen at times where Jody does come over and she plays for the national team. Not calling her out, but to her credit, I'd like to say to her credit, she has at time looked exhausted, and I think that's possibly down to us when we do have Jody Brown in our hands, just in my opinion, just overworking her, adding to potential burnout and fatigue. I think at times we have been guilty of overplaying her. I would have liked to have seen things done differently in terms of how we manage her when she's in the national setups. It doesn't hurt to give her the odd rest here and there, even if it is to say, okay, 60 minutes in the chamber, 60 minutes in the tank, sit on the bench for the duration of the match. Possibly, and I don't know, this could be one of the reasons why there's some slow building process there, building progress there as it relates to the anxious wait for Jody Brown to burst into the Benfica starting 11. I will say, in terms of some positive news, and this is only my observation, you can see the number 11 next to her name. So that means she has the number 11 jersey. From what we know in terms of how football clubs operate, they're not going to give you a number 11 if they don't have you down as a potential starter to come, whether it be immediate starter or one to look forward to. For me, number 11 clearly tells you that the clear plan for them is to make her a regular in the starting 11 week in, week out. I think for the time being, it's probably just building her up to potentially the same level of fitness as her current or her new teammates there. Unlike college football, the competition I think is much more fiercer. You're playing with women of different ages and probably a tad bit higher experience in terms of playing at the professional level, week in, week out. And you're going to be going up against some tough opponents as well, especially when you're playing in competitions like the Women's Champions League. But I think of what we know of the babyface assassin, when she does get going, I think it's going to be some frightening stuff for the opponents. I think she's going to be a force to be reckoned with. But I think now it's just a waiting game to see when she does cement herself into the starting 11. Good luck to the player that she comes in and takes over after, because I think once she grabs a hold of that position, you're not getting that back unless there's a case where she needs to be protected for any precautionary reasons or personal reasons. So yeah, a promising player with lots to offer, and I do think we're going to be seeing so much more of Jody Brown. Best of luck to Miss Jody Brown and Benfica. And in terms of the results there, guys, 2-1. They actually came from behind to seal a 2-1 victory. This is the second round of the group stage of the UEFA Women's Champions League, and this is leg 1 of 2. So we've got another match coming up against said opponents. Now, I guess we can go ahead and look at another team there. Where is Manchester City? I actually just went past Manchester City. Oh, where have they gone? Let me go back. I just saw them. Why did I do that? Why can't I see Manchester City? Let's go back and look at Man City. There we go. So this match left me really confused in terms of the build up to the game. That is, I was left confused, and I'll show you guys the reason why I was left confused. Maybe you guys will agree with me. So in the build up to the game, a bit like Jody's match, I think if I'm not mistaken, Jody's game started before Manchester City's and Bunny's match, and did the usual, looked at the starting 11, and I couldn't see Bunny Shaw, and I was like, well, that's a little bit odd. Then I cast my eyes to the subs bench, and I still couldn't see Bunny Shaw. So I thought that's a little bit odd. So the usual thing, decided to sidestep a bit and go and look at the press conference. Usually the press conference would tell you everything you need to know. I'm going to share my screen with you guys so we could look at that press conference ahead of tonight's match, which has now been wrapped up. City winning 5-0. So as it says here, Taylor, so that is Gareth Taylor, the gaffer there for Manchester City's women, provides squad update ahead of Paris FC clash. So, went through it and went through this more than once, and I could not see any information there pertaining to the involvement of Bunny Shaw or the lack of involvement of Bunny Shaw. Obviously, we've seen some other big names there. I'd like to say that Bunny's name is either equally as big or bigger than a couple of her teammates. No disrespect to them, but couldn't see any information there or explanation pertaining to Bunny Shaw and any inkling that there might be a omission from Bunny Shaw in tonight's match against Paris. So I was just like, okay, well, that is confusing. And the reason why it was confusing for me is because obviously we've sat here and we've already discussed the return of Khadija Bunny Shaw and the fact that she actually played in the Australia tour. So not too long ago, Manchester City and coincidentally Leicester City, the now new home of Chantal Swaby, they actually locked horns in Australia down under, and Bunny Shaw came on in that game, and at one point she actually was donning the captain's armband. So I was like, okay, it can't be a case of her not being fit, because even if she wasn't fully fit, surely you would just slot her on the bench. And I was like, okay, maybe it's a new injury. That's my immediate fear, new injury. But it's not a new injury, and I allow you guys to make your mind up. I've already made my mind up regarding what happened to Bunny in terms of her exclusion from tonight's 5-0 victory over Paris FC in the Women's Champions League. And I'll go ahead and share my screen once more with you guys. Upon some further investigation there, I came across this article here from The Guardian. I don't think The Guardian needs any introduction. You guys know The Guardian, you know about just how reputable they are. And it's not just about The Guardian being reputable, it's also clearly says over here, the headline says, Manchester City without Khadija Bunny Shaw for key Paris clash after visa bungle. So I was like, okay, taken aback. But the exclusive was written by someone who I believe is one of the best sports journalists in the world when it comes to covering women's football in particular. There aren't many that does it better than Miss Susan Rack. From what I understand of her, she wouldn't just write a story for story's sake. She's not the type of journalist that's just there to grab the headlines. That is the impression I get from her, having been privileged enough to brush shoulders with her in the industry. Also, I'm familiar with her work as well, so she's not the type of person to just pick a story out of thin air for the sake of story's sake. But I did read the article there from Susan Rack, and I'll go ahead and share this with you. This one, I believe, was the first of two articles there from the Guardian. And it does say here, our first paragraph, Manchester City's failure to file a visa application means Khadija Shaw is not in their squad for Wednesday night's Champions League qualifier at Paris FC. And I thought, well, that sounds like a certain organization when we're talking about visa hiccups. And obviously, the Jamaica Football Federation came to mind, but I'll go ahead and finish reading the most relevant part of that article there. Shaw has not traveled to France for the first leg of the round 2 qualifying match, despite late attempts to secure a visa. The Guardian has been told the Jamaica forward was sent to the French embassy on Tuesday morning, but the request for an expedited application was refused. City denied Shaw had been asked to try to get a late visa and are understood to be confident there will be no future issues. So it's like, okay, well, if it's not in regards to, if her omission isn't in relation to a visa hiccup, what could it be? Again, I am more in favor of leaning towards the Guardian and Susan Rack, again, because of how reputable each of them are. The Guardian, I think we can all agree that they are heavily reputable. And like I said, from what I know of Susan Rack, she would not just write a story for story's sake. And I already brushed on the press conference there leading up to tonight's game against Paris from Gareth Taylor, and there was no mentioning of Khadija Shah. So I thought to myself, okay, if the Guardian aren't accurate with their report, could it be a case of something else? And I thought, well, for a club of Manchester City stature, all you really have to do is tell us that it's personal business. Once you say personal business, anyone with any ounce of decency would typically just back off. Personal reasons mean mind your business in polite and professional terms. But they've not actually touched on it. And it's a little bit irritating, if you don't mind me saying so. And Manchester City, not Manchester City, sorry, the Guardian actually released two articles. I think the second one is potentially a match report, so I'll go ahead and share that one with you guys. And I'll just dive right into the Bunny Shaw information there, because that's the one that you guys clearly want to know about. It says here, Gareth Taylor's side were bizarrely unable to call upon their top goal scorer from last season, the Jamaican striker Khadija Shaw, because, as revealed by The Guardian earlier on Wednesday, the club had failed to file a visa application in time for her to travel to France. And I just thought, again, I am more willing to side with what I am being told in the two reports there, two separate reports by two different journalists. I think this one here is written by Tom Gary. It says that Shortly, I hope Shortly, can't pronounce that properly. I think I've butchered that one, but clearly it sounds like he was actually inside the stadium watching Manchester City's cruise to a thumping 5-0 victory. So I'm beside myself with these two reports. Again, I know who I'm siding with because of their the fact that they are two reputable one reputable newspaper and a reputable individual in Susan Rack, and I'm sure Tom is as reputable as well. I don't know what you guys make of it. Do let me know in the comments section. I'm still left scratching my head. Not sure how Manchester City, if what is said to be true in the reports, I'm not really sure how you would blunder your star player's visa. It is the Champions League, but forget the Champions League. She is your star player. She is the PFA's Women's Player of the Year. She's also in the PFA Team of the Year, and this is all from last season. And she's also last season WSL Golden Boot winner as well. She has multiple accolades. She smashed the Manchester City women's goal scoring record. So I'm not really sure who is at fault of this, but most certainly, you probably have found yourself in some hot water, because it is pretty shameful to think of, again, if this story and the report is said to be true, which I feel that it is at this point, a club of Manchester City's stature, you should not be making mistakes like these, especially when you're playing at the highest level, the Champions League. You need all your tools, you need all your pit bulls to be ready to go. I know Manchester City are quite fortunate in terms of their firepower, and based on tonight's result, clearly they didn't miss Khadija Banishaw. But even so, they were up against dark horses. If you guys follow the UEFA Women's Champions League, you're probably looking at this game, Paris FC, and saying, actually, this is probably not a team to take lightly. We saw what they did to Arsenal. I believe it was last season. And they beat Arsenal. They also beat Wolfsburg, also coincidentally last season as well. And the reason why I brought up those two clubs is not last season, but the season before last, we had Arsenal as the semi-finalists, and we also had Wolfsburg, who was the runners-up. So they've beaten semi-finalists, and they went on to beaten a team that played in the final and were subsequently the runners-up. So clearly, Paris FC, definitely not a joke side. Yes, the scoreline is 5-0 to Manchester City, but you did so without your star player. Still not heard a whisper out of Manchester City pertaining to why Khadija Banishaw wasn't included in the match day squad. pod. If it is personal, just say that it's personal. Nobody's going to hold it against you. No one's going to brace you against the wall. Bunny Shaw is a superstar. She's a global superstar, 2 times Ballon d'Or nominee. She's one of Jamaica's greatest sporting athletes. One will argue and say she's our greatest ever footballer. I know some of you sexist pigs out there don't like to hear me say that, but I will say again, one can argue and say that she's Jamaica's greatest ever footballer. So clearly I'm including men and women into that statement. Saying that to say she does carry an audience, she does carry a global following. And if there's something there and it's just about visa, for goodness sake, just let us know. You know, nobody's going to nail you up. No one's going to brace you against the wall. I don't know. Maybe it could come from a place of shame. Maybe they do probably feel a little bit embarrassed that if it is to do with visa, then they probably have their heads in the ground, or people having heads in the middle of their homes, feeling a tad bit embarrassed. But it does remind me of the JFF. As soon as I was reading the article, kind of had a smile to myself, because this is the type of shenanigans that the Jamaica Football Federation gets up to, always blundering something to do with visa or plane ticket or accommodation, both for the men's team and the women's team. So if Manchester City are going to be taking any inspiration from the Jamaica Football Federation, just take Bunny and a couple of our other players and leave everything else to the side. Don't go taking no more inspiration if what is reported in the Guardian holds water, which I do think it holds water. Don't go taking no more inspiration, because it is a tad bit embarrassing. All right. So I think that's all I have time for. I did say that I would speak with you guys for about 30 minutes. I think this one has stretched over to 36 minutes. What I'll do now is I will go ahead and turn my attention to the comment section, see what you guys are saying. I've got a couple more minutes on my hands, so if you guys want me to stay for a little while longer, I'm more than happy to do so. Watching and listening, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Merrick says, not fair. Dixon should make the team. I can't tell if that's banter or not. Hot Chili, blessings to you, my friend. I hope you are well. Congrats to Kasey Palmer and Michail Antonio, says Hot Chili. WD Wizard, I hope that you are all right. Good night to yourself as well. 1615 is crazy. That is, I wouldn't like to be on either side in terms of fan, 12 man. That's too much for my liking. That is way too much for my liking. Too intense. Big up yourself. I hope that you are well. One Club Arsenal Gunners, that is from Gunners Boss. Is there a EPL Hall of Fame? Something like that. I feel like I've seen EPL, English Premier League. Yes, there is. The Premier League does a Hall of Fame. Yeah, definitely. I don't need to search that one. For some reason, I thought you said English Football League, but the English Premier League, yes, there is a Hall of Fame. Nigel Gordon, thumbs up to you as well. I hope you've hit the like button, Nigel. Oh, she not yet to make an appearance. Thought she did already. LOL is intimidated by he is afraid she'll whoop his ass like the woman he had before. I don't know where this comes from, but it's so funny. Enlighten me. I don't know where the comment comes from. Have I missed something? I don't think Ryan is bothered by anything that I have to say, to be honest with you. But do enlighten me. One Palace, one rule. You know it's Crystal Palace. She just need to catch up to speed and put in the work. Yeah, from an outsider looking at, sometimes these women's club do irritate me, and it's not a shot at anyone, but women's game is so dire. Like, trying to find out basic information, it's like, why can't it just be there? I mean, if you don't have no one to do the job, then hire some people. Hire some people. The women's game is growing in popularity. More and more people are interested in it. Sometimes to find out certain information, you have to go above and beyond. And by the time you do that, you probably have no interest. If you're someone that's just coming into the women's game, you probably have zero interest. You're not going to push hard. You're not going to go deep and trying to find those necessary information. And that's the reason why I do these type of shows for you guys. As painful as it is, someone has to do it, right? So yeah, there's the headline back up again. City poll a JFF. I'll allow you guys to decide whether or not they have done so. I personally feel like they have. Maybe you guys will disagree. Let me know if you guys have any other topics there in the comment section. If it's something I can't address, I will do so on another live stream. Also, please do remember to drop me your messages there in the comment section, or maybe on Instagram or Twitter. If there's anything again that you guys want me to address, I will most certainly look into it, as long as it makes sense. If it's something that is just a joke, then I'll probably stay away from it, because I probably won't have time. Probably just won't have time. I am pressed for time as it is. I did say in my comment section earlier on that I'm knackered. And trust me, I am. I had a busy day, and I'm surprised I'm actually sat here giving you guys a live stream. Rushed to put myself together to give you guys a live stream. I hope it's been worth your while. I most certainly have enjoyed speaking with you guys. I'm still waiting on Gunner's boss to enlighten me, to give me some add some meat to that bone there for me, Gunner's boss. Maybe I'll give you guys another 5 minutes. I can sit with you guys for another 5 minutes before I have to love you and leave you. If you are out and about, again, I do hope that you make it home safe and unharmed. And I hope all of you there in the comment section, I hope you're all in good health. If you are politely listening, for whatever the reason might be, you might just be intrigued. You might just be interested in what I'm saying, or it might be for a different reason. I hope that you're also in good health. Mhm. All right, guys, I got let's call it 4 more minutes now, okay? Let's call it 4 more minutes. Uh, um, If you're just tuning in, you probably have to watch this one back on replay. A couple conversations there spoke about Michail Antonio and Kasey Palmer. They've been named in the Concacaf Nations League, League A, best starting 11 for the September window. Personally, as I said, I think that is richly deserved. Also spoke about Benfica and Jody Brown. Benfica is the new home for Jody Brown. That's her first professional contract with the Portuguese side. And we also discussed the meat of the matter, the main focus of tonight's live stream, Khadija Bunny Shaw and Manchester City. They reportedly fumbled her visa for tonight's trip to Paris FC. That game is done and dusted. No Bunny Shaw on tonight's occasion. No Bunny, no problem. Manchester City swept away Paris FC 5 goals to the good. Miedema, it pains me to see Miedema in City's colours. I would have preferred if she had left the league, but the lady has to do what she has to do. Shame on Arsenal for letting her go just in general, not even to a rival, but for letting her go. I actually wanted Bunny and Miedema on the same team, just not in the blue colours of Manchester City. Actually wanted both of them at Arsenal. Bunny definitely at Arsenal, because Arsenal at the moment they do lack diversity, don't they? feel like they're not really representing their community in terms of diversity, unfortunately. Don't feel represented by the Arsenal women's team. Think they definitely have some work to be done. Got 2 more minutes with you guys until I close off on tonight's live stream. Hope the stream has been worth your while. I personally feel like it has definitely been worth my while. Let's see. You guys have been very quiet there in the comment section in the last couple of minutes, not in general, in the last couple of minutes. I don't think Gunner's boss is going to add to what he said. So I've just got a couple of more seconds left, or I'll give you guys another extra minute because I don't actually like ending my live stream, as you guys have probably gathered already. I like speaking with you guys, so I don't like to just sign off. So let's give you guys maybe 2 more minutes or under 2 more minutes, and then I'm going to have to love you and leave you. I might do another live stream tomorrow. If not, it will be on Friday. Can't believe the week has come to an end on fast moving week. It's already Thursday where I'm at. It is 1:15 a.m. And it doesn't seem like you guys have any questions for me in the comment section, no topics for me to discuss. So I am going to be ending this live stream in a matter of seconds. Again, if you're new to my platform, do go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you haven't hit the like button already, I'm not sure why that is, but please do go ahead and hit the like button. Thank you to those of you who have been sharing the live stream for whatever the reason might be in your respective WhatsApp groups. It does come up my end, by the way. So thank you for doing that, and yeah, for helping me grow the channel. I was out for a minute. What do you need me to address? I was just talking about your comment. I brought up your comment, but I don't think you actually heard me when I brought it up. Yeah, I was asking you, what did I miss? I brought up your comment and I asked you, like, have I missed something? Because I was a little bit like raised eyebrow, the rock raised eyebrow with your comment. I did bring it up on screen, but I wasn't sure what you was referring to. Don't know who the other woman is, to be honest with you, sir. Yeah, that's why I was asking, what did I miss? So again, looks like I'm waiting on Gunner's boss, guys. And I promise you after that, I'm going to love you and leave you in a matter of seconds. Oh gosh, I'm feeling peckish, guys. Gunner's boss, I don't know if I can wait on you. I'm feeling a little bit peckish. I need to actually go and eat as usual. I think you guys have figured out my routine. As soon as I end my live stream, I make my way straight to the kitchen. I kid you not. And tonight is exactly the same because I'm hungry. Okay, Ryan had a confession when he was defending Greenwood. He said he have been beaten by all his women. Have me wondering if he has. Oh, did other women get onto him? That's music to my ears. Good, he deserves it. Of all the YouTubers, he's the one that I've publicly addressed with you guys because I spoke to him in private. And that's something that you can verify with him. I spoke to him in private. He's someone that I had a lot of admiration for, a lot of respect. I don't dislike him. I don't hate him in no way, shape, or form, but there's no secret. Ryan has the biggest and the most influential YouTube channel in our space, right? So he should be doing better. And I think that when you have a friend and you see your friend going down the wrong path, if you care about that friend, then you're supposed to hold them accountable. You're not supposed to let them spiral out of control and do foolishness, because if you do that, then you're not a friend. A friend is supposed to have your best interest at heart. If you have a friend and your friend is telling you that you're doing foolishness and you can't take telling, you can't be friends with that person then. Friends are supposed to hold each other accountable, you know? So yeah, I was disappointed, massively disappointed. And I told him, hurt by what he's doing, completely hurt and disappointed, heart-wrenching stuff that I've seen from him and other guys. And I've told him that about, didn't give him any names with the YouTubers, just like I didn't give you guys any names, because personally, I don't think it's fair for me to do that, because it might be something as simple as some of the lads in the YouTube space not realizing what they're doing. Some might be uneducated, not in a disrespectful way, but uneducated pertaining to the topic and how deep the topic is. So I didn't give him any names, just like how I didn't give you guys any names. But yeah, disappointed with his actions. So if other women are beating him, good. They deserve to beat him and continue to beat him, continue to hold him accountable, because he's the one with the biggest influence. He's the one that the Jamaica Football Federation listened to. He's the one that a lot of the 12th man listens to. So, you know, if Ryan's giving the thumbs up, they're all going to give the thumbs up. And I don't, like I said to you guys, I have no qualms with people saying that Mason should play for Jamaica. That is fine. Do that. If the Jamaica Football Federation wants to place him in the national colors, do as you please. But just be mindful that there are people out there that look up to your respective platforms, that are tuning in, and some of the stuff that you say, for me, sometimes it comes across as a bit of a mockery, and it's probably triggering for a lot of people. So be cautious that some people are listening. You might trigger their emotions. And I've told Ryan that. Told him, I'll say it's all well and good for you to ride the wave of whatever you're trying to ride, no problem with that, but just be mindful that you might trigger some people's trauma. You know, be objective with what you're asking for. So if people are beating him, I'm glad to hear that he's getting a battering, and I hope people don't stop. He's not afraid of me. He's definitely not afraid of me. I'm actually questioned whether he has any respect for me. I don't think he's afraid of me in the slightest. I don't even think he respects me as a person. I honestly don't think that he does. I can only be honest with you guys. A woman beating stick. He's my homie still, but I'm not. I'm not gonna stop scrolling him because I'm not in sympathy. No, and exactly like I said, you know, if I did not want best for him, I would not have had that conversation with him. And that conversation was actually brought on by Ryan himself, not even me. Because as I said to him, I've intentionally avoided having that conversation with him just because I think prior to your comments where you said paraphrasing other women have been onto him, I felt that leading up to that point, I don't know how those conversations went, but I thought that his views was very ignorant, and I thought that his live streams were extremely ignorant, and that's why it really irritated me. And I'm not going to draw out no other YouTuber in the way that I draw him out, because I've not rubbed shoulders with the rest of the YouTubers. I've not spoken to the rest of the YouTubers on a personal level. So I don't have that place. I know my place with the rest of the YouTubers, that I'm not going to tell you when you're doing something wrong, because you might not take that well. And I don't want to add to the toxicity. But if I feel like overall you guys are moving a bit mad, I'm going to let you know. You know, we could all be offended with each other. At least we're all in the same boat for once. I'm sympathy with the I think this is a conversation where a lot of us are just not going to agree with each other. And the whole notion of agree to disagree is not for me. You know, wrong is wrong. You can tap dance and you can dance a Mason, but when you're talking about abuse, and in terms of especially sexual abuse, that is a problem that plagues Jamaica, and it's not me making things up. It's a fact. You know, we do have a sexual abuse problem. Yes, we have a abuse problem on a wide scale, but in terms of sexual abuse, that is a problem in our community for both men and women. You know, you have some women that have sexually abused men and young boys as well, but it doesn't get talked about. It doesn't get discussed. Some men are probably being sexually abused and they can't say anything because they're afraid of being laughed at. This is what I say, that there's a bigger conversation, and I expect someone like Ryan with his big platform to talk about a prevalent problem. That for me was the opportunity. That's why I say it's not about Mason. Brush Mason to the side. Let's have a conversation. Let those vulnerable men who tune into your live stream find the courage to stand up for themselves, find the courage to get the help and support. Let them feel that they shouldn't be embarrassed if their female partner is abusing them. If they're being beaten, let them not feel embarrassed or ashamed to speak to someone. Because Riot LFC is telling you not to be ashamed. It's different when it's coming from me. It's not going to take me serious, but you will take him serious because he's the leader. And that is why I'm disappointed with him. He's also running around sabotaging, telling his clowns to boycott them. I think you need to elaborate with me with that. Personally, I don't from what I know of him, I don't know what you're referencing, but I don't think he would tell anyone to sabotage other YouTubers. Again, from what I know of him, I don't think he would do that. Because I said this on multiple live streams that he has definitely helped YouTubers, including myself. I'm not ashamed to say it. Just because I'm not in agreement with his recent behavior doesn't mean I'm going to shy away from some of the stuff that he has done well. He's definitely helped to grow a lot of the platforms that you guys call your fan favorites. And I think if anyone wants to be honest with themselves, they can tell you that. He has done charging thing. I don't know about that. But all I can say is the community is a toxic community, but I don't know about any sabotage. It doesn't sound like him, if I'm being honest with you. I don't know. In military Guna content, then came on the show Dragon. Um, I think any conversation between Ryan and military, my advice with that is to just leave those two men alone. Let them be, because life is very funny. Anybody who is picking and choosing and fighting and effing and blinding for whoever, you might end up with eggs on your faces, because these two men, somewhere down the future, they might be seen drinking a bottle of Red Stripe or two together. My point that I'm trying to make is it's their business, let them be. I don't think it's a case where people need to be chiming in and cursing people out, and like it's a I don't even know if it's an issue. Whatever happened is between the both of them. Let them hash that one out, because you pick your side and you might be ended up looking like a fool in the future when they're friends. I don't think it's far-fetched to say that they will be friends. I don't know if they're still friends, but don't think it will be far-fetched to say that they won't be friends in the future, but I can't speak for the both of them. But I wish them the very best of luck, respectively. I don't think it's mix up. You made a comment and I commented on it. I don't see anything wrong with what I've said. It's not even adding to the drama. Whatever is going on between the two of them, I think people should just let them be, let them do their thing. And it doesn't worth your while going, if anyone's going on to people's respective channels and cursing at people or cursing people out. I'm not really sure what comfort you get from that, but you might just find yourself looking very foolish if you turn on your TV or your phone one day and you see both of these men are live streaming with each other. It's not far-fetched. It can happen, and it just might happen as well. So yeah, just let them be, and wish them both best of luck from afar. We've almost been streaming for an hour, guys. I'm going to actually let this one ride out to an hour. It's on 57 minutes. I'm going to go and let this one 2 more minutes, 2 more minutes until the hour. I'm going to let this one ride out. Uh, say this though, the way that some of you fight for YouTubers that don't even know you on a personal level, I would love to see some of you fight for something meaningful, something with purpose, you know? City pull a JFF, what does that mean? Okay, before I close off, you can read this one in front of you. Maybe I need to get up another um all right, let's go ahead and read this for you again. It is in relation to the omission of Khadija Bunishaw from tonight's squad, uh, where Manchester City went ahead and defeated Paris FC 5-0. So quick little read through until I close off. To reiterate, this one is for Gunner's boss since he asks, Shaw has not traveled to France for the first leg of the round 2 qualifying match, despite late attempts to secure a visa. The Guardian has been told the Jamaica forward was sent to the French embassy on Tuesday morning, but the request for an expedited application was refused. So, based on the two reports, they're coming from the Guardian, again, the reputable Guardian and the reputable Season Wrap with the exclusive. Manchester City appear to have blundered some visa paperwork there for Khadija Bunny Shaw. And until they correct what's been reported, I think it's safe to say that what's been reported by the Guardian holds water. Okay. And that is that. We're bang on the hour. I'm going to have to love you and leave you. I'm going to go and stuff my face. To you guys there in the comment section, big you up each and every time. I hope that you are all in good health. And I do hope to see you guys on another live stream. If you have not hit the like button, what are you waiting on? Go ahead and hit the like button, guys. Thank you so much for your continuous support. Long may it continue. If you are out and about, I do hope that you make it home safe and unharmed, because walking through your doors is an underrated blessing. Before you leave the live stream, hit that like button or subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Who is that with a chat? Isn't the Guardian a tabloid? Gunner's boss, it's like you want to keep me here forever. Gunner's boss, I have to love you and leave you, Gunner's boss. Every time I want to close off, you ask me another question or you give me another comment for me to work with. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're all followers of The Guardian. We all know The Guardian newspaper, right? Gunner's boss. For me, they are as reputable as any other reputable newspaper. But if you choose not to believe them, as I said earlier on, Susan Rack, she is a reputable journalist, and I do not believe that she would just give us a story for argument, or I should say for story's sake. I don't think she's all about clickbaits, not from what I know of Miss Susan Rack. The voice is captive. You know what? I'm going to leave you. I'm going to leave you. Thank you, Godness Boss. Big up yourself. Good luck with your Champions League match. See, this is what he's done. Now I'm gonna have to look at some champions. I'm gonna go, guys. I swear to God, I love talking with you guys. I'm talking too much. I'm gonna go. We've got some Champions League football tonight. Gunners boss, your team, Arsenal, are playing against Atalanta, but you probably already know that. No doubt, you definitely already know about that. You should be able to see this one in front of you there, guys. Where we at? Yeah, Atalanta, Arsenal. That's probably I'm about to say the biggest match, but of course not. Look at me, tooting my own horn of my team. Other matches that you guys probably want to keep your eyes on: Atletico Madrid versus RB Leipzig, and also Monaco versus Barcelona. I think those are the ones that probably catch your eyes. Feyenoord versus Bayer Leverkusen as well. Yeah, there's a couple games there for you guys to dive into for your Thursday night football. Thank you. Thank you, Gunners boss. We got there in the end. 3-1 Gunners winning the game. We'll see. We see no Martin Odegaard. So upstep Nwaneri. interesting to see how well that young man plays. Definitely intrigued to see how he gets on this season. Hopefully he does well. Because he actually plays for the Gunners. So why wouldn't I want him to do well? And I promise you guys, I am about to close off on my live stream. Thank you again for your continuous support. And you know how it goes. Until next time, take care.
I'm John Barnes, and you're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.